entertainmentbuddha.com.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. Oh, what? Where am I? Oh, fuck. I think I got hit in the head with a club. Oh. Well, the light shows the way. Oh boy. Well, either someone broke in or somebody broke the hell out. Oh, Jesus. Why does it always have to be pitch black? Where's that lighter? There it is. Alright, what do we got here? What a nerd. Well, left the candle lit. Drink's still here. Looks like they left in a hurry. I don't think anyone broke in. What the hell is this? Getting a bad vibe from this. It's yours now. What do you mean it's mine?
Come on, step it up.
No. No one's here. You're not really real. Stay back.
You know, I haven't been this excited to talk about a horror game for a long time because, frankly, I haven't given a shit about any that have come out lately. Just being honest. I've been following the development of Call of Cthulhu for quite some time because, honestly, as soon as I heard about it and saw some early pictures and concept art, I thought it was one of the coolest ideas for a horror game. I mean, it's a remote island off the coast of Boston, which I live pretty close to. A mysterious family murder, being unable to tell if anything was real or not. Oh. And
Fish guts. Lots of them.
on top of that, RPG elements, tons of different characters to interact with, all with their own personal backstories, and multiple endings means that I'm excited. Considering the context of the game, which is madness, controlling your sanity, investigating crime scenes, and eldritch gods, there has to be at least one happy ending, right? I am too excited to wait. I gotta get my hands on this game and find out. Let's get this spooky show on the road. I gotta go back out there because once again, I'm not playing it on PC. I'm playing it on PS4.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Have the developers of this game ever heard the term happy?
Right away, the game throws you into a nightmarish situation where you have no idea where you are and are basically just pushed and shoved further into madness. This is a running theme in the game, but we'll get back to that later. This part was in the preview of the game, so I can safely tell you that the intro sequence is just a dream, but compared to some of the stuff that you'll be seeing later, it's pretty tame. You'll play as Edward Pierce, a veteran of World War I, a private investigator, and a drunken, PTSD-riddled, washed-up wise-ass. You're then given your main objective for the remainder of the game, which is investigating the Hawkins family death on Darkwater Island. As I mentioned earlier, it's a small whaling island off the coast of Boston, and it's pretty damn beautiful everywhere you go. Pretty much as soon as you hit the island, you can see that something is seriously wrong around town. I mean, the whole island is a sickly, toxic green color, and there's a dead whale washed up on the dock with giant bites and claw marks in it. Honestly, if I was Edward, I would have just gotten back on the boat and gone home to take a different case. Backing up just a little bit, before you get to the island, you're given some character points that you can freely add to any of your stats. You can dump them all into one thing to immediately master it, or spread it out evenly. Pretty basic stuff, and honestly, I can't recommend one thing over the other. Unless you are a master in a particular subject, you can still fail prompts for them during the game. These skills involve your investigative skills, which involve being able to find items and pick locks, strength, psychology, and eloquence. You can also increase medicine and occult knowledge by finding books throughout the game. Some chat options are also influenced by your sanity level at that point in the game, and your sanity is affected by multiple factors. The more that you learn about the occult or choose to read sacred books, the less sane you'll be. Using speech options from the old language also decrease sanity, and sometimes investigating things too much will decrease your sanity, as you'll discover things that you simply can't understand with normal logic. Depending on your sanity level at the end of the game, the ending will be different, and I'm not sure exactly how to get all of them. I don't know what percentage of sanity it is that you need for each ending, but it's fun to go back and try to do things differently to get different situations and endings, especially when you just pick the most sadistic story possible and drive Edward completely insane. Well, the story behind the game is great, the gameplay loop is fun and interesting, but the game certainly has its fair share of issues. I mentioned in the preview of the game that the environments look amazing, and that still holds true. It's not made to look hyper-realistic, it's definitely got a somewhat unique artistic style, kinda like BioShock Infinite. A lot of characters also look pretty good, but one who certainly doesn't is Edward in the pre-rendered cutscenes that aren't in first person. There's one particular part in the game where I swear to God he looks like an orangutan in a trench coat with a somewhat human face. I don't usually gripe about graphics, in fact I don't think I ever do, but in this case he just looks bad. There are some other character models that don't look so great as well, and it's almost always when the cutscenes are pre-rendered. I think I would rather that they all be in-engine because it feels like they're taking the control out of your hands completely in those cutscenes. In case you were wondering, this is not good in a game that's supposed to be completely and totally driven by your choices. There are some animations that are reused over and over again when talking to characters that makes them all feel a little samey when 4 different characters all make the same kind of weird hand gestures when they're talking to you. There's one animation in particular that I swear is from Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, and it just looks weird and dated. It takes away from the immersion in a game that needs to be as immersive as possible. There are also some pretty poorly handled stealth sections in this game, including one where you have to randomly guess which item will solve a puzzle for you. There are 10 of these items with basically nothing telling you which one might be the right one, so you could try 9 items before you actually get the right one. Also, the whole time you're being hunted down by a grotesque monster that's really hard to locate even with headphones. He shows up again later to randomly jump scare you, and it just feels really cheap and stupid in a game that's otherwise pretty smart. If you have a good gameplay loop in your horror game, don't dumb it down with crappy stealth sections and jump scares because it makes me want to stop playing. There is one segment where you have to confront a monster and stave it off using the light from your lantern, and I really liked that part. That was probably because it combined exploring, investigating, and running away from a monster all in one contained segment. This game only falters in actual gameplay when it tries to go for cheap thrills, and I just wish that it wasn't in the game. Call of Cthulhu surprised me in both good and bad ways, though the good typically outweighed the bad. Unfortunately, the crappy animations and occasionally not very good looking character models ran throughout most of the game, which is a shame. I feel as though the game is open to sequels depending on the ending you get, and that could fix a lot of these issues and truly make one of the best horror games ever. The concept is great and the execution is pretty good. Some sections are fantastically tense and creepy, but it's just not consistent. I do recommend this game due to the premise, its beautifully haunting setting, memorable moments, and branching storylines, which require repeat playthroughs. Just expect some bumps in the roads. It's great, but it ain't perfect. Now I just gotta make sure that I never learn anything outside my comfort zone ever again, because according to this game, it will drive me mad. Or maybe that's only for World War I veterans with no appropriate coping mechanisms that suffer from depression and anxiety and treated by being an alcoholic. Nah, I'm just gonna stop learning. Seems safer.
entertainmentbuddha.com